For the front of the dress, you'll do everything that you've done for the back of the dress, so please watch that video first. But you will stop right after the arm decreases. Instead of continuing the Trinity stitch, you'll do the following. Purl the first row. And then knit the Trinity stitch over the first 17 stitches. So it should start with knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 in the first stitch, and then purl 3 together. Okay, and once you've done that, place the stitches that you didn't work over, so the ones that will be on your left hand needle, onto a stitch holder or some scrap yarn. If you are going to use scrap yarn, then get a needle and weave the scrap yarn through it and then go through each stitch. Row 1, purl all. Row 2, purl 3 together, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the next stitch. You should end with purl 3 together. Row 3, purl all stitches. In row 4, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the first stitch and purl 3 together. Row 5, you'll cast off 2 stitches and then purl to the end. For row 6, you'll purl 3 together, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the next stitch, and you'll end with purl 3 together. For row 7, cast off 2 stitches and purl to the end. For row 8, you will knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the first stitch and then purl 3 together. You should end with purl 1. Row 9, cast off 2 stitches and purl to the end. Row 10, purl 3 together, then knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1 into the next stitch. Your last stitch would be purl 2 together. Cast off all your stitches purlwise. Cut yarn and fasten off. Now we're going to start on the left side. With the right side of your work facing, you will slip all your stitches from the holder onto your needle. If you don't know which side is the right side, it's the side where you purl all your stitches. For row 1, reattach the yarn and purl 7. Then you will knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the first stitch and then purl 3 together. You will repeat the Trinity stitch to the end. Row 2, purl 19, then knit 7. What we're doing here is leaving 7 stitches blank with just a stocking knit stitch so that we can attach a button and then attach a loop on the other side. Row 3, purl 7, then purl 3 together, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the next stitch. Repeat the Trinity stitch pattern to the end. Row 4, purl 19 and knit 7. Row 5, purl 7, then knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1 into the first stitch. Then purl 3 together. Repeat to the end. row 6, purl 19 and knit 7. Row 7, cast off 7 stitches. Once you've finished casting off all the stitches, you'll have to put the last stitch from the right hand needle onto the left hand needle, because the first stitch will be purl 3 together. And if you don't do that, you'll end up with an extra stitch. So then purl 3 together, knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1 into the next stitch, and then repeat the Trinity stitch pattern all the way to the end. Row 8, purl all stitches. Row 9, cast off 2 stitches, and just like on row 7, you'll have to slip stitch that one stitch that was left over from your right hand needle to the left, and then you'll purl that together with the other stitch, so you'll have purl 2 together. And then you will knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1 into the first stitch, and then you will purl 3 together. And then continue the Trinity stitch pattern to the end. Row 10, purl all. Row 11, you will cast off 2 stitches, and then again you will slip stitch that first stitch from the right hand needle onto the left hand needle, and then purl them 2 together. Then you will knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1 into the first stitch, and then purl 3 together. Row 12, purl all. Row 13, cast off 2 stitches, then slip stitch that 1 stitch from your right hand needle onto the left hand and purl 2 together, then knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the first stitch, and then purl 3 together. Repeat the Trinity stitch pattern all the way to the end. Row 14, purl all stitches. Row 15, cast off 2 stitches and slip stitch 1 stitch from the right hand needle to the left hand needle and purl 2 together. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 into the first stitch and purl 3 together. Repeat the Trinity stitch pattern to the end. Cast off all stitches. Cut the yarn and fasten off. And now you've completed the front of the dress. Here I was just measuring and making sure that the dress was actually even on both sides around the neck. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit wonky because you can kind of fix that later on if you want to add a collar, or if you crochet, then you can crochet like a single crochet along the edge of the neck, or you can leave it. I left it, but it's up to you. Okay, now we're going to sew the shoulder seams together. So you want to put the dress with the right sides facing, touching each other, and then you will sew, it doesn't matter which side you sew first, you will sew the shoulder seam. And as you can see here, I will go underneath both yarn strands. And that will give you a flat finish on the front. Okay, once you've done both shoulder seams and checked if they are flat and even and not all to one side, then you can turn the work back around and we'll start sewing up the sides. When you sew the top half of the dress, it's not that much of a big deal how you do it, but just make sure that the stitches are aligning up. So you want to weave in and out of the dress, you don't want to loop over the top, or it will show through when you turn it around to the other side. When you're sewing down the stockinette side, it's a little difficult to explain, but there's like two, they look like pearl stitches on on the sides of the dress. You'll weave through one of them and then you weave through the other one, and then you will go through the whole dress together. Like there was like this wider stitch that you'll go through, and that should give you a seamless stitch on the other side. Thanks for watching part 2. Click here for part 1 and here for part 3.